Hello and welcome back to Culinary. In keeping with our interest in international cuisine, today we're bringing you Bulgarian feta cheese pie. Let's begin. And we'll start with preparing the dough. The yeast dough will need 2 teaspoons of active dried yeast, activated in about 75 ml of warm water and 1 teaspoon of sugar, which I've already done, and it's all foamy here, and 250 ml of milk, warm milk, and 600 grams of plain flour and 1 teaspoon of salt. We'll sift the flour first into a bowl. Actually, get all in one go probably. Add a teaspoon of salt, a little whisk, pour in both milk and the yeast. First we'll give it a little stir until the dough comes together. Go by hand. If it feels a little bit dry, you can add a little bit of warm water, just a tiny splash, like 10 ml at a time. We're looking for a very soft dough. I actually feel like I need a little bit of water added to this dough. I'll just use the same jug that I've activated the yeast and I'll just brush out all the remaining parts of the yeast and just add a tiny, it's probably 10 ml at a time, and see how it goes, because it all depends on the flour and humidity and a lot of things. The recipe calls for 250 ml of milk, but it's clearly not enough, so I'm just adding a little bit more. Just make sure that you add a very, very tiny amount of water at a time. It's never too late to add a little bit more. A little bit more again. As you can see, it's less than a teaspoon I'm adding every time. So it's very, very small amount of water, but it helps. And a little bit more. And I think that should do it. And as usual, once I feel that the dough is the right consistency, then I'll dump it onto the worktop and finish the kneading there. And I think it is. Actually, flour the worktop first, very little. Not soft enough yet, and kind of all crumbly and rough. We need a little bit more kneading. But it's not difficult and it doesn't take long until you see that the dough is all soft and elastic. Okay. Not sticking to the hands anymore. Soft and pliable. So another couple of pushes and it's ready to go and rest and rise. And now we're going to put it in a warm place and let it rise until it's doubled in bulk. The dough is now ready and it's time to shape the pie. As you probably can see, it's all nice and airy and it will be very easy now to work with. We're going to divide the dough into 3 equal pieces and then roll each out and brush it with some melted butter and then crumble a piece of feta cheese on top of each of them and then roll them up. And we're using 200 grams, a small package of feta cheese for each portion. It's a lot of cheese, but it's a lot of pie. It's a very large pie, and we're going to bake it in a 14-inch or 35 centimeter in diameter baking tin. You don't have to make it as big as that, you can have the recipe, but we're making the big one. Now, let's divide. We're going to roll it out in a thin oblong shape. Flour your rolling pin. That should do it. And with a pastry brush, some melted butter, brush all over the dough. And we'll just scatter cheese all over this surface. And now we're going to roll it up. Yes. Swiss roll. And now we'll press it, trying to seal this parcel. Continue rolling it like so, making it long and ideally even a sausage-like piece of dough. Very gently doing it. I think it's long enough and even. And now we're going to start building the pie. I've prepared a very large 35 centimeter in diameter baking tin, which I lined with baking parchment and lightly brushed it with some butter. We're going to build the pie starting in the middle, creating a coil. This is so cool. On to the next. From where we finished, continue going round and round. Actually, I need to loosen it up a little bit because it's yeast dough and it will of course expand and it needs some room. And the same with the last one. Perfect. And now we'll finish building our pie. Going round and round. It doesn't look perfect just now, but it will be, because it will rise, it will expand and come to a perfect shape. And now we're going to brush it with the remaining melted butter all over and put it back to a warm place to rise again for about an hour. And now we're going to loosely cover the baking tin and put it in a warm place to rise for an hour. The pie expanded nicely, more than doubled in size. Now to the glaze, the most unusual part of this recipe. The glaze is made of 1 cup of lemonade and 1 egg. Oops. So pour a cup of lemonade into this jug and the egg and whisk it together and pour it all over the pie. Put it into preheated to 180 degrees oven for between 45 to 1 hour. The pie is now ready and it took exactly an hour in my oven. So let's get out of the tin and I need 2 cooling rags to accommodate it, and I'll let it cool a little bit before we cut it. Cool down a little bit and I'm going to cut a small piece just so I can try it and tell you what it tastes like. It's so delicious. The lemonade glaze gives a very little sweetness to the crust, but it makes the outside of the pie very crunchy and lovely, and it's a perfect combination with a very soft dough inside, filled with a little bit salty and a little bit tangy feta cheese. Really good. Thank you for watching this episode of Culinary Haven. Until next time, bye. Hello.